Welcome to Connecting with Corinne, the podcast where I help you find your community one story and connection at a time. I'm your host, Corinne, and each week I explore inspiring conversations that connect us to the world around us, spark new ideas, and help build stronger, more meaningful connections. Whether it's through personal stories, thought-provoking discussions, or shared experiences, we're here to bring diverse perspectives to the table. So let's dive in and start. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Connecting with Corinne. And today I have my lovely friend, Terra Kenzie Longacre, here to join me. I always like to introduce how I know Terra. So I met Terra in Cochrane a few years ago. I know we've been in circles and everything else, Terra, but I think we really started to connect when we both worked at the Spirit of Oneness shop. And that was during the crazy times of COVID. The shop was slowly trying to open during that time, but we were both working there, selling crystals and really cool things. And then the shop closed and we both moved on. But then we reconnected because you started offering a Akashic Records reading certificate. And when I saw that, I was like, I love you. I take my money. I want to learn from you. And yeah, we've just stayed connected that way. You've since moved out of Cochrane. You're now in BC. And you can just tell us a little bit about yourself. So that's how I met you. And feel free to tell us a little bit about who Terra is.
Well, I love, our connection was Spirit of Oneness. And the funny thing is, there's no coincidences. I was thinking about that plays very recently, like even a couple days ago. So now it's like clicking. That's where we met. Yeah, and what an interesting time. So I'll share a bit more about me. I lived in Toronto for, gosh, almost 10 years. And when I moved back to Alberta in 2020, 2015, that crystal store was just opening. And I'm like, ah, I want to work here. But interesting time. So a little bit about me. I am now more into coaching and mentorship and really helping to support women primarily. I'm working with all the folks, but primarily women to come into a space of authenticity and to open up their connection to themselves through God Source Divine. So that's kind of the jam of where I'm at now and what I'm doing, and as well as retreats. I love retreats. That's the way in which I work with people. And I always kind of chuckle, and you might get this too, because sometimes people will say, what do you do for a living? Or what do you do? How did you start that? And it always feels like a loaded question, but it's not. I just kind of naturally went into that world because from being younger, connected into more of the spiritual realms or seeing and sensing and feeling things that most people might not be aware of or might not know are there. So that was an interesting introduction to it from a very young age. And I'm finding the timing of this podcast so interesting, just in general, of being invited to podcasts, because I'm going through so much transformation in my own personal life. And then just even like through that in business. And now like people are asking me to be guests. I'm like, well, things are changing. Oh my gosh, there's so much change. And through that, though, I feel like a lot of us are going through changes, and a lot of us are being called more to really honor our truth. Like we could say our truth, but just really honor that authentic state that we are. And even to strip away the word authenticity, who we really are, what we're really feeling called to, what we're really in alignment with. So I know many of us are going through that. And it's been an interesting journey because I am being pulled more to, and I'm using the word coach. I used to hate that word. Oh my God. Like cringe word for me was coach. I'm like, ah.
Why is that? Why do you
Well,
think that is?
yeah, so much of it, I think I had an aversion to that word primarily when that wacky wild time COVID happened. And I think it got tainted. The word got tainted for me from that, just because of what was happening in our world and in the industry as well. However, like that's a hang up. We were talking before we even got on the call about stories. And so that was just, a story and having a stigma to that word. So I am finding it interesting now to be accepting of that word, embracing that if you have to have a role or a label or a title, and actually being proud of it. Not
Yeah.
like, coach, I'm being pulled in that direction more in the way that I work with people, because that I'll even rewind a little bit. A lot of my practice first started in holistic health. I did a lot of body work, worked with aromatherapy, lymphatic drainage. So it was very physical, but I would always kind of bring in the energetic components. But I know that for those of us that are in a spiritual field or wanting to be in a spiritual profession or a healing profession or all of these titles, you do want to have professionalism. You want to be taken seriously. It's like you don't want to just seem like it's not legitimate. That's a huge thing that comes up for a lot of us. So I found even for me doing the holistic health practitioner was like, I can do these other energetic components. I can have these intuitive components, but then I have a professional hat on. But the funny thing is that changed it. Like I found the more I was being pulled into the energetics of working with people and going into those emotional realms, and then even like the soul, Akashic Records, everything changed. All of my focus was put more into that realm, but just even the people that I started to see. Like it was so interesting. The clients started to change. And then I wasn't even doing body work anymore. It completely was shifted. And I've been working, yeah, in more of those spiritual spaces or the realms of spirit, Akashic Records, gosh, like 10 years. 2015 is when it really was opening up more. And an interesting thing about that, though, even this part of my journey in life and my business is transforming, where I'm not working with the Akashic Records as much. I'm doing a lot more of that, the spiritual coaching, counseling, whatever word we want to give it, and supporting people and really opening up their awareness to going directly to the source, to God, creator, whatever words we want to use. That's been an interesting journey. There's been some unraveling with it. But at the same time, I feel very re inspired in
Mm.
life, in business, like everything. I just can't stress how much things are changing, and I'm excited about it. Because sometimes when, yeah, I don't know, when things are changing and you've been used to doing things a certain way for like a decade, and then you're getting guidance and direction to start to either pivot or explore other ways, it's like, oh my God, what are we doing? But if I could say anything, if anybody's feeling nervous about change or resistant to change, to really know that where we're being guided is, it's not to lead us into a path of destruction, where we're being guided or directed, going back to that authenticity, is really allowing us to be who we came here to be, who we're meant to be, who we are in this greater collective divine plan, but then even the divine plan for our lives. And I
Mhm.
always say this, like for resistance, that's where you're going to find the gold. Like we talked about this in the Akashic initiation class. If there's things coming up for you and there's apprehension or reluctancy around it, like that's where you should go explore. That's
Yes.
like, ooh, let me look at this. What is that about? Because the things that you could be terrified of, what is on the other side of that? Instead of, oh, I don't know what's on the other side. What is the, in excitement, what is on the other side of that?
Well, and I think that's why people are so afraid of change, right? Because
Oh,
it's the what ifs. And I think we always go into that negative spin. What if it doesn't work out? It's that fear base of it's not going to work out. And then what? But what if it does? What if it's meant to work out? And they say like the grass isn't greener on the other side, but maybe it is. Maybe it's not the green grass, but maybe there's a garden with amazing flowers. Fuck the grass.
and you'll never know.
Let's look at the garden, but we don't know until we try it. And that's the hard part because it's that risk and it's the unknown. And I say to some people that they're stuck being uncomfortable because they're comfortable. You know what I mean? They're in this place and they know that there needs to be some changes, but to change means it's going to be uncomfortable. But where they are is uncomfortable, but because they know where they are and this isn't comfortable and I don't like it, but if I stay still, then it's okay, right? But you're still stuck. So to get out of the stuckness, you actually have to move forward or you have to change or make changes. And that's uncomfortable and it's scary. And there are the what ifs. What happens if it doesn't work out? Whatever is meant to happen is meant to happen. That's what I truly believe. And doing the Akashic Records work and just listening, like you said, reconnecting to soul because changes are being made. And yeah, I've been getting a lot of visions and it's been interesting because the visions I've had before, even before working with the Akashic Records, have been a lot of past life stuff. And now the visions I'm getting are almost future. And the hard part is I question, are these dreams or is this what I'm supposed to be doing? And it's exciting. And like you said, it is a little bit scary because I don't know. But then I'm like, no, my soul and my heart is, I want this. So let's go do these. Just do the things. Do the
Yes,
things that make
yes.
you happy. So I'm like, yes, okay. I will do
Do
the
the
things.
thing. I can't. I was just talking about this yesterday. What was the study? I can't remember where the study was. It's in an episode I did, but 8%, only 8% of people actually accomplish the goals and dreams that they have for their life. That is heartbreaking and shocking, but not because you said that word risk. There is a huge risk involved to go into the unknown and try slash do the things. But at the same time, that feels so devastating in my heart that only 8% of people in the world actually accomplish their dreams. It blows my mind. And as you were talking, I was chuckling because I was hearing the word surrender in my mind. And I have to say, every time we start a new calendar year, is it the real year? Whatever, the calendar year that we have, I pick a word. I'm like, what is the energy of this year? What's the vibe of this year? And 2023 was surrender. And let me tell you, when you ask for things and you set these intentions for things, you will get them, but they might not be the way that you envision them. So that's another thing too. You could be going into the unknown, but it might actually not be the dumpster fire that's created in the mind. Like it could be amazing and phenomenal, but it's just so fascinating because that the theme of that year was surrender. And girl, ooh, were there ever opportunities to surrender deeper? And now through that, God, like that was an interesting year of so many revelations of personally and professionally, and everything needed to happen. Because how can we really trust God, the divine, if we're not willing to say, okay, I need help, I need support? Because yes, we are capable of doing a lot. We can, but at the same time, there might be situations in our life or areas in our life where it can be humbling to surrender, but at the same time, you're being held. And I've just reminded myself of this. Nothing is ever lost. Nothing, and I need to do quotations, nothing is ever lost. Nothing is ever going to be wrong, quote unquote, wrong, if it's part of the divine plan for your life, if it's God, source, divine's will. You can't mess it up. You can't mess it up. And the human tries to create those stories again of the way things need to be, the way things have to be. And can't we just let them be? Can't we let them
Mhm.
be? Can't we allow? Can't we surrender and trust? And I just feel that can be one of the hardest things to do in your life, to release that control. Ooh.
Ooh, the release of the control. And I think that's the thing, right? I think this year is a lot about, like you said, surrender for you is 2023. I think surrender for me is this year. And it's just interesting because
With ease and grace.
when you talk about surrendering, it's interesting because there's just a lot of themes that come up. Like I was listening to this podcast and they were talking about, they call it now the empowered wife, but the original writer was it of the surrendered wife. And I was just listening to that and I was like, oh, surrendering, letting it go. I'm like, that's what I need. And it's putting that trust back into the universe, putting that trust back into myself. When you talk about the 7 or 8% of people, like the population, I think the thing is people have these dreams, but then it's who am I? Who am I to have this? Or who am I to have my dreams? Even with this podcast, was like, who am I? Who cares? Who the
Yeah.
hell cares? I am gonna do this. Even if I have 2 people watching it, whatever, I don't care.
Can that what you just said, even if I only have 2 people watching, it's one soul at a time.
Yeah.
It truly is. So if you've got those 2 people listening, like you never know who it's going to touch. I'm even feeling teary thinking about that because what a disservice to humanity if you had
Mhm.
gotten in your way and said, "Oh, who am I? I can't do this."
It's interesting too because I came back from an amazing trip. I was in Coachella and
Yes.
you can tell through the voice of no voice. But it was my goal when I saw people, these influencers, and they're all wearing crazy clothes. I thought everyone is having their self-expression, and there was no judgment. I was just in awe of all these people. Good for you for wearing that because I can never pull that off. Like that's not.
Banana
I'm just
hammock.
happy to be wearing clothes like at this point. My fashion choices are not definitely not up to scale. But it was just really interesting because we did the camping and I would just see all these amazing people with incredible hair or whatever, and I'm just gonna compliment them. Like
Yes.
that's the only thing. So even on the Thursday night we were there, we call it day zero, and they had DJs at the campground, and there were some people already dressed up, and I was like,
Ooh.
that's amazing. So you just go compliment them and just say, oh my God, I love your jacket that's all got lights on it or sparkles. And there was some people wearing like incredible shoes that I could never ever wear in my entire life because I would fall over and hurt myself and like the big platform shoes and
Oh,
in the
girl, yeah.
campground and oh it was just amazing. And I would just go and compliment people and I would just say, I like your outfit. I think you look pretty. Or even to the guys, you guys look amazing. Going to Coachella and just talking to a bunch of people. It was a lot of fun and it was trying to lift people up again. And I feel like music brings people together. And I know we were talking off air, and the plan now is every trip I'm going to try to find like music festival and travel. And I've said having these visions now of the future and this is what I want to do. I don't know why it's a 3-year plan. It's like just stuck in my head and my soul. This is 3 years. This is what you're going to do.
Yes. Oh, and if it's there, it will happen. I'm at times in awe and a little surprised when I look back on things that I've said are going to happen and I'm going to do them. And maybe the time frame was a little bit different, but it's happening. This is even why the 8% I don't understand. Like I do and I don't because it's just it happens. When you were talking about Coachella, I haven't thought about Coachella in a very long time, but I went, oh, this was in another lifetime. I've had multiple lifetimes in this lifetime, but Coachella was fun. And it was back in the day when they just had the one. There weren't multiple weekends. It was like in the earlier days, but it was,
Yeah.
yeah, like people were just so into the music and just there was partying, but yeah, it's nice to be in those spaces, but to share these compliments and being kind just because I'm like that too. If I see someone, I'm like, oh, you look amazing. I'm not gonna not tell them. I'm gonna tell them
Yeah.
because it's why would we keep that to ourselves? If you think somebody looks amazing or you want to compliment them even beyond an appearance, why wouldn't we say something? Why wouldn't we
Mhm.
share that? Who
Yeah.
cares if they think it's weird? Who cares if you think it's weird? That's the authenticity. And there can be a lot of that of just like closing off of I can't say this. But at the same time, I've been there too. I remember being in other places and spaces in those other lifetimes where maybe I wouldn't have said something to someone or even been jealous. Ooh, real talk. How is that helping? How is that
Or judgy. I know. I was
judgy?
so judgy when I was younger.
Oh, oh, oh. Oh gosh. Yeah, when I rewind into the past, and I know everything shapes us for who we are now, it's just like such a different person. I was one of those people in those crazy platforms and like, we're in another lifetime. But isn't that beautiful to see our potential to transform and
Yes.
actually shift and then come back more to like our innate truth? Because at the end of the day, yes, humans are flawed. Okay, humans are actually flawed. However, I feel like we genuinely want at the core of our beings, stripping away all the stories, all the labels, all of the film that we accumulate through life, there is that nature, that natural nature to be kind and loving and to care. It is hardwired in us. But once again, we get that programming, and I just call it the film where it just kind of piles up on you, or even like the protection mechanisms, right? You just kind of shut down or close off your heart. And a beautiful thing that we're experiencing now is we're returning to that. It feels like we're returning to that. And even you being at that festival and sharing with people, because who knows, there could be people that are in a different mindset or in that mindset that you were in or that I was in the past. And so even you being there and being that beacon of light of, ah, you look amazing. Hi, like that creates a chain reaction. So something
Mhm.
that's really important for us to remember, and it touches on what you were saying of where those stories can come of like, who am I? Like, how can I? All of those stories, and that's what they are, stories. It's important to remember that, yeah, you, whoever you are, wherever you are, can make an impact and can make a ripple. I have to admit, I did get sucked into the vanity metrics of social media and just like all of the numbers. And there's people that have like hundreds of thousands of followers, but what about community? Some of them
Mhm.
might have community. We can't generalize, but it's just the numbers. It's that cliche saying, quality over quantity. Like that's so important. And I find even like having a business, you can get sucked into the machine a little bit. I would like to say we can't, but I have definitely been sucked into the machine, chewed up, spit out, and then celebrated to it. But the most important thing is it doesn't matter how many followers you have. And even to think about it in this perspective of, let's say there's 300 people following you, not like 300,000, but that's 300 people. That's
Mhm.
pretty amazing. If we were at a festival and you blocked off 300 people, that would be a lot of people that are in your sphere and that you are being able to share your heart with and that
Mhm.
are subscribing to you sharing their heart with them. And I think that's so important to act as a reminder. And I feel like we know this, but sometimes in the glitz and the glam of a profession, the numbers can start to become more important or feel like they're important, more important than actually being of service to, maybe those two people. And I find this is a beautiful thing too, because sure, you've got one person, like you post a video and you've got one person that liked it, but they liked it, and then a seed is planted in their heart, and then they might share it, And I think that's really beautiful as well. There is that sense of community and then people sharing. I've been really going through an alchemical journey. And it really did start in 2023, the year of surrender, but it's been an alchemical journey of really the deconstruction and the dismantling of everything that I've thought I've known about myself personally, professionally, my relationship with God, Source Divine, like just everything has been in the cauldron, so to speak, going through distillation as well, but going through this process and refinement. And it's been I just laugh because I reflect even on 2024. These last few years have been so eye-opening, so eye-opening, and have acted as the reminder of regardless if we have a business or not, regardless of what we're doing in the world, and touching back to that human nature, we're here to be of service. Like that question, what's my purpose, comes up so often. I know you know that. It's like, what's my purpose? You are your purpose. If we just like getting rid of titles, labels, everything, you are your purpose. And how can you be of service being you? So perfect example, you at the festival, like just being kind to people, complimenting people, making them feel good, but with no strings attached. Nothing's required. It's coming from the purity of your heart. And I feel like moving forward, even like for myself in life and business, that's my true north. And the irony of that is I thought that was my true north before. It felt like that was my true north. But if I'm being completely honest, there were other factors playing in that, and they've been stripped away. They've been burnt away. They've been like exploded, detonated away. So it's been kind of exciting. This roller coaster of life and truly coming back into, I'll even say divine alignment. It's like alignment, but divine alignment and maintaining that and being in integrity with
Yeah.
that.
I feel like right now we're in this period of time, and I guess like it is time, but I mean, time is construct. But I mean, for the here and now, I feel like there's so many more people who are starting to either rediscover God's source or the universe. But I also feel like there's a lot of people who are kind of going into the new age or believing a little bit more into past lives and stuff like that. So I think it's a really interesting and cool time for everyone just to have more openness to some of these ideas.
Yeah, with the openness, like knowing that they have access to it.
Mhm.
They have access to it. And I just have to stress that we all have access to it. We can all connect with our spirits and our souls and God, source, universe, divine, whatever the words are. We're not separate from it. It's not for someone else and not you. Like that has just been, and I felt this for so long. I've felt this for so long, and I'm even more convicted with it. And that's been why some more of these changes have been rolling out in the way that I'm working with people, because I love to be a support of guidance. I will be a loophole for you intuitively. And at the same time, It's trust. At the same time, it's trust. And so often I will work with people and I tell them what they know already. I
Yeah.
tell them what they know already. It's just come now from someone in front of them. And so that's really important to know. We can access this information. It's not generally withheld from us. The reasons it's going to be withheld from us, though, if we're not fully trusting, and at the same time, there can be other factors that interfere beyond the trust, which could be out of your hands in the moment, right? In the moment, there could be higher powers or things going on beyond you in this now moment. But more often than not, worthiness, trust and worthiness. It's like those go hand in hand, which keep others from either disbelief in their ability to receive the information or know that they can have it. And that's when the mind interferes, though. Another part of that is like God, spirit, divine, like nobody's gatekeeping that. Like it can't actually be gatekept from you. Like you do have access to it. You can open yourself up to that. And I feel like that's really important. And that's what makes me excited about more people opening up to that. And we're seeing that more and we're hearing that more. And at times, having a business, a spiritual business, there's been some conflict for me because it's, I want to help and support you, but you don't need me. You don't need me. You could do this or you could do that. That's where I'm at now. I just really want to be an advocate to remind everyone that we have it within ourselves. There's no magic, I don't know, there's no magic key that you need. It's an open heart. It's an open heart, pure intentions, boom, and trust, though. And I get it. I get it. I've been there. I haven't trusted before. We all go through that. And then you learn to trust. You don't trust enough times where you learn to trust.
Yes. Yeah, no, and in my experiences in the past, it's the trust, but then it's also listening to that. There are signs, right? The universe is like, hey, we're going to stop you from doing this. I'm going to just keep going until something happens. And the universe is like, you didn't stop. We showed you the signs and you didn't
Oh,
trust us. And now we're just going to blow it all up.
oh yeah.
And now
Yeah.
you're going to have to just stop, like, just fucking stop. And then you're
And
like, okay.
listening.
I got it. I got it. I'm listening now because everything is now stopped.
Yeah. And how kind and loving is that to give you all of those signs? What a loving creator of the universe that we have to give you so many signs to say, hey, you're doing this. What about that? Oh, you don't want to? Okay, what about this? What about, but that's how we
Or
are.
just stop doing the stupid things that you're doing, right? Like I think that was for me and my experiences, like just stop doing the stupid
Yeah.
things. We are going to try to prevent you. And in my head, I'm like, I think this is a really good idea until it's not. And then, yeah, then the universe, like, you just need to stop and listen and just be, right? When that happened, that was probably about 2022, about 2022, 2023 as well, right? Of just stop. Just stop everything that you're doing, stop being an idiot, and heal. I ended up breaking my leg, and the universe was like, hey, you're breaking your leg. Like it broke. And I mean, it wasn't leading up to a leg break, but there was a lot of things I was just doing in my life. Like I didn't make some smart choices, and then all of a sudden it was, okay, you're not listening, so you're gonna break your leg to make you just like physically stop doing everything. And then in that, I was healing. But even then, I'm like, I still want to do stuff. And then the universe is like, hey, you're broken. We're going to break your car so you don't drive
Oh, no joke. Yes.
because I would,
Yes.
oh, I can still teach yoga with a broken leg. And the universe is like, no, just seriously, seriously.
See, surrender.
Yeah,
Surrender. Yeah. Because
yeah,
that perfect share there, we will get the signs. And if you don't listen to them, this isn't a threat, but people, please. The physical things could get physical. And
yeah.
I've experienced it too. And I know so many people that have. So yeah, if you're not listening, they will stop you. But it's out of love. And in the
It
moment,
is.
like, but look at you powering through. You're like, just gonna keep.
I'm just gonna keep going because I want to. And then the universe is, you're an idiot. So we're just gonna break your car so you can't leave the
Yes.
house. Or there's gonna be like a big snowstorm so you can't leave. And it's stuff like that, right? And I feel now this year it's again a surrender year and it's letting shit go and trust. Trust is a big one. And I think it's hard because I know in a few years from now, I'm going to look back and be like, okay, there's purpose here. But when you're in the thick of it right now, it's just like, WTF, like what the hell? What's happening? It's not like even why me, but it's like, what's the purpose here? Why is this happening? So that I can kind of understand it. But the universe, that's not the lesson right now. The lesson is you just have to be in the thick of it
Yeah,
and
they're
just
like trust.
and put a lot of trust into a lot of things. And it's like letting go, just letting it go and trust. And it's hard when you want to control things. And I
Oh,
think for everyone, people want to control, right? And I say to people when doing Reiki or even Akashic Records, no, we can't control anyone. The only things that we can control are our thoughts and our behavior and
mhm.
ourselves. I can't control what the next person's doing, saying, thinking. I can't control that. What I
No.
can only control is myself. And I can put resumes or work or whatever out there, but it's people who are going to come to me for either using my services or I can put my resume out there if I'm looking for a job. But at the end of the day, I can do actions, but
Mm.
there's other things, like you said, behind the scenes that we don't know about. And people will look at the resume or not look at the resume or whatever. So it's okay. What do I need to do with my soul? And there's some cool things ahead in the next, hopefully, couple of years. Like I said, see these visions now, and it's just like the soul's talking and it's just leading with the heart and the soul for me. Like,
Can
I
we
think.
cancel, clear, delete, hopefully? Like I know you said those things are coming, hopefully. Why can't we just say them like they're
No, they're coming. They're
happening?
coming because I can see it. I can see them. Let's do the visions,
Yeah.
right? Let's make these visions come to life.
And can we say humans, where we touched on it, are flawed and we can never fully comprehend how good it can get. When you're in the realm of creation and spirit and creator, God, all of the words, all of the words. When you're in that, when you know what that is, it is limitless. It
Mhm.
is limitless. And we only, it's just such a finite amount. We can never fully comprehend as a human how good it could get. And even that divine plan, like I laugh all the time with the word plan because we can have our plans. There can be something so much greater than that. So even for you, like, okay, plans end and on and on and on. And I've just really started to look at life from that perspective. And once again, these are things that I thought I was doing already. I'm laughing all the time at myself because I've been so checked into a reality of, okay, you were doing that, but you weren't. And now it's, oh, okay. So I just surrender. A huge piece of coming into that was the surrender and the letting go. Because everything, yeah, I don't know. We don't know how good it could get. We can't imagine how miraculous things can be. And sometimes we have to let go of, yeah, dreams, ideas, people, places, things, situations, parts of ourselves to be able to step into that or be able to receive that too. I want to say anything is possible when we get out of our own way. That's huge. When we get out of our own way and try and the control, trying to make things be a certain way, trying to have it all figured out. You've got the blueprint and the map into all of eternity, but then that creates limitations too.
Absolutely.
Hmm. Spirit is flow
Mhm.
and allowing. Human is fixing, finding, controlling. It works for a time. Could we say it works for a time? but how good could it get? And when we're so attached to holding on to specific things or it needing to be a specific way, we'll never know. It would literally be like this. How good can it get? Oh, I'll never know. Oh, how good can it get? Amazing. Beyond my wildest dreams. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Right. It's like beyond the dreams. And
Mm.
yeah. And oh my goodness.
Yes.
So let's go into speaking of beyond the dreams. I know you're doing the retreats that you said. So what are you offering for the retreats?
Yeah, so what am I offering for the retreats? This year was a lighter on the retreat scale because 2024 was a doozy and a dismantling of a lot of things. 2025 is the expanding into a more authentic aligned state. That's 2025. So I do more pilgrimages, we'll say retreats, but pilgrimages, which would be like a spiritual journey where a huge focus is connecting into the land and connecting into your spirit, soul, communing with the divine. So this year we'll be going to Sedona in November for pilgrimage. In September, Sandy and I from Solar Power Health are going to Greece. I'm so excited about that one because her and I in 2019 had Secrets of Sisterhood with Jessica, with another woman. And we had talked about being in Greece in 2025. That was our vision. We were going to take that sisterhood and just do retreats, and things change. You got to let go, can't be
Okay.
attached. So things change, but her and I are going to Greece. So is it Secrets of Sisterhood? No, no, but it's her and I, which is
It's 2/3 of the sisterhood.
yeah, but it's happening. It's
It's happening.
2025. It's not Santorini like we thought, but it's
But it's
happening.
Greece and it's
Yeah.
cost, right? You're going to
Yes,
cost.
course. I find so much of the work that I do is to connect with self, to connect with creator, and to connect with the land. That's the primary focus. And the heart in June. I don't know if we're airing by then, but in June, I'll be doing my first retreat in the Kootenays. I'm so now focused on connecting into the community that I have here. When I was in Avalon last September, I hosted my first retreat there or pilgrimage there, and I got the strong guidance to focus on community and focus on my community where I currently live. I've continued to travel to Alberta and because I love the people, I've got so much of my practice was built there, but I'm getting deep into community where I live and the community building in new ways than I have done before. So that's the calendar so far for retreats. A little bit lighter this year, and then 2026 is already starting to fill. We'll be in Avalon again. Sedona is just a thing. Sedona is a thing. I love that place, but yeah, I'm looking forward to being able to connect with people, to bring them to places like beautiful places, but even in community spaces as well. That's the primary focus of me and everything that I'm doing is to really embrace and cherish relationships that are happening now and enjoying the now.
The present.
We came here to be us now, and I found so much of what I've been doing I've loved and has been very higher consciousness based, important. And it's now coming through this distillation process of being human and here and living life and enjoying life. It's
Mhm.
huge. Actually being present in life, not trying to escape it, not trying to distract, like actually being in it, even if it's painful.
Yes.
Mhm. Yeah. And being on journeys with people through that.
I think that's beautiful. And do you think that's why you're moving away from the Akashic Records? Because the Akashic Records isn't like future. I know people are like, it's fortune telling. It's not. We know that.
No. Not at
but it's
all.
more like that past. And I feel it's helping people understand the past lives or things that are happening, maybe in the present moment, but they're still kind of stuck in those loops. So, do you think that's why your mind moving away from the Akashic Records a little bit and being more like present, or?
I've really been simplifying things in my life and my world. And I will, yeah, I just find things don't have to be so complicated. Like I said, you don't need a magic key to talk to God, to talk to the divine. You can have that relationship and communication. So I feel like that's where I've been at. I've just been like making things far less complicated. And what I have enjoyed though, working with the record, I found even working in the records, things would always tie back to the now.
Yes.
Always. And I know there will be readers that do galactic and that do primary past lives and maybe even future potentials. But even the work that I did would always focus on how is this going to help you now? I just feel like it's always been that way, but now I'm even getting more grounded and earthly through that, but with the spiritual connection too, because it's so important to be here now. It's so important to be here now. And we can know all of these past life experiences, but in the class, we talked about this all the time. It's like information is secondary. If there is energy to shift, if there's something to work with, we're going to work with this. We're not just going to do an Akashic Records reader to tell you all of the lifetimes you had to inflate your ego like that. That's not, that's not the intention or the purpose. I feel like that's been really important to me of wanting to work with people and working with people that are committed to living the best possible life, right? And to have peace and contentment and joy, knowing that it's not always going to be perfect.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just keeping things so simple. And that's
I love that.
the beauty of it. It is so simple. It doesn't have to be so complicated. And humans like to make things complicated.
We like to make things complicated. We will
Yeah.
mess it up.
Oh, but we can't mess it up.
No,
We can't
no,
mess it
because at the end of the day, I've looked at back at my life too, and there's been times when it's okay, am I meant to do something? And the universe is not right now, but then later on, it's like, oh, here's this opportunity again. Now is the time. Now it's the time. And so there'll be circle backs and people who come in and out of my life, and they come in at certain times, they leave at certain times, and then new people come in or go, but then there's always those people that will come back when they're meant to. So
Yes.
yeah, I think it's just beautiful that way, the way that it's supposed to happen, how it happens.
And trusting that, right?
Yeah.
Just trusting that, being in whatever you're in, mm, not attached. It's like the attachment thing, like breaking free from attachment. And
Mhm.
some days easier said than done because we're human.
It's so true. And then, Tara, are you doing group coaching as well, or are you just doing like one-on-one coaching? What are you doing?
Yes. Oh, okay. So the website is under construction. This is why I'm just chuckling. I haven't actually been a podcast guest for so long. And now multiple people are like, I want you on the podcast. Everything is under construction right now, but I'm coming. So, yes, there is one-on-one coaching that is under construction on the website. There is a group program coming. I'm currently a cohort right now, but there will be things are coming in the fall. Yeah, so there are group experiences for shorter term, like 3 months, and then long term. And then there's business focused and people that don't have businesses. So kind of both of those worlds. But in terms of being in my world, there's some things open, but a lot won't really be accessible until September.
Cool. And
Or
then
if
when
you
is
want
your
to come
retreat
on.
in June for at the Kootenays?
Yes, yeah, I was gonna say, or if you want to come on retreat in June,
Yes.
the
Beautiful.
Illuminated Heart Retreat, that will be a thing. I'm really in this process of allowing what has been dismantled and rebuilt now having the framework and the words and the expression of it in an accessible way for people. instead of what's happening, all of the moving pieces. So it's exciting.
Oh, it's so exciting. And I'm glad that you're starting to build community out where you are now.
Yes. Oh, there's so many great people here. I've even started going to a weekly women's singing circle, and I love it. Life is good.
Oh,
It's
that's
like
amazing.
living and doing things and like playing, and I'm really enjoying it.
That's amazing. I feel like your soul is so happy right now.
Yes. Yes. And it's come from surrender and letting the F go. Oh my gosh. And yeah, it's been good.
That's amazing. Because I think that's the thing. So when we surrender and let it go, then just more things can come.
Yeah, and we don't need to know. We don't need to know how it's going to work out. I'm not advocating like completely being reckless out there, folks. I tell this to people all the time with businesses. Don't quit your 9 to 5 and go all in on your spiritual biz. Do some easing into that. Let's not be reckless. We don't need to know everything, nor will we ever get to know everything.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like I said, just the trust and the surrender and just
Mhm.
know that what's meant for us is meant for us. And
Yes. Yes. Could we just repeat what you said? What is meant for you is meant for you. And no one or nothing can take that away.
Mhm.
And that's like part of the divine plan too, and that timing. It might not be now. You said it's like the timing's not now, but what is meant for you has your name written on it. It's like fingerprints, that soul signature. Nothing can take it away but you. If you get in the way, you can take it from you, but nothing can get in the way of what is meant for you. And that's so important to stress.
And I like to think too that even if you did get in the way, sometimes the universe will come
Oh,
back and be like,
yeah.
hey, you took the wrong road.
The long way or the
We're
short
gonna
way?
figure you back. Like you're gonna
Yeah,
come
no,
back to this.
exactly.
And it can be people, places, things, whatever, right? But it's like you go off and then something's gonna come back and you'll veer back.
Yeah,
Or
that's
they
true.
come back at a different time.
Yeah, what is meant for you is meant for you, period.
Exactly. I love it.
Yeah.
Before we go, I did pull a card because you did. Let's see if I can have this. It's
Oh,
not
yes,
backwards, but I do have your Soul Path Oracle cards,
yes.
which you wrote.
Yeah,
And
Heather Brewster is the Earth Angel slash
you
artist, and I was the
you are the
author.
one who wrote inside it.
Yes.
And you can talk about this card because I pulled, I don't know if you can guess, but it's the Cosmos, which is
Oh,
creation, great mystery, and the void. So it's funny we've been talking about this because I've held this card the whole time we've been talking.
oh, not surprised. So that card is very symbolic of everything we've been talking about because that is being in the mystery, that is being in the void of creation, that is going into the unknown, that is trusting and allowing. Ooh, can you read the activation statement with it? Everyone, this is for you. Let's put our hands on our chest and our hearts.
Okay, let me find it. So we'll put our hands on our chest and heart as I find this.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, here, you find it and I'll lead the folks. So we'll have our hands on the chest and on the heart and bringing all of your focus and attention into the heart space and even
Mm.
finding your breath there. And then we're going to hear these beautiful words for being open to the cosmos.
For the cosmos, I fearly step into the void, experiencing nothing and everything all at once. I embrace the mystery and the limitless possibilities of the unknown. I trust the divine creation process.
Ah! Claiming it.
And
Yeah.
so it is. Oh, I love it. Perfect. This is how we're going to end it. Thank you so much for coming on, Terra. How can people find you? I will add the links into the show notes, but where can people find you?
See, things are changing still. Okay, so social media, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Terra Kenzie, Facebook, Terra Kenzie Longacre. The website is currently heart to heart journey.com, but it might be Terra Kenzie Longacre. onself.com. So just look up those names and you will find me.
I will add all the links to the show notes. So don't worry, everyone will be able to find you through Instagram, Facebook, your website, whatever it is.
Ah, thank
And
you
we will
so
make sure that people can find you because you're amazing. And I've been so blessed to have gotten to know you over the years and to work with you. And trust me, everyone, when I say you work with Tara and then she offers something and you're like, yes, take my money. And the retreat with you and Sandy and Cos will be
much.
amazing. In
Yes.
Greece.
Can I
Yeah.
say my highlight of that is the Greek cooking class? Out of everything, I'm like, feed me, let me make Greek food.
Hey, you know what? I was in India back in 2012 with the school and we did a cooking class and I was not paying attention to how they wanted me to cook and the chef was getting so mad at me. He's like, I told you to julienne the carrots, not to cut them however you were cutting them. But I was just so excited to be here making Indian food in a kitchen with some chefs and
Ah,
I'm not listening to what you're asking me to do, but that's okay. The food was amazing and it's just so much fun.
I love Indian food too. Oh, that's in like
Yeah.
my second
So
degree anyway.
but to cook, the whole point was that learning and you already know the skill, but it's
Yes.
just learning how to do it and just being around that energy
Mm,
and just preparing food with love,
yes.
right? And intention.
And
And
then
I
eating
think
it.
that's amazing.
Thank you
Anyway,
so much for having me as a guest. And thank you to all the open hearts and open minds that are listening to this.
yes. Oh, thank you, everyone. And everyone, stay connected. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. All right, everyone, have a good one, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. I hope today's conversation sparked something new and reminded you of the power of connection. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this episode with others and continue spreading the message of unity across all walks of life. Until next time, stay connected.